Hi and welcome guys to yet another episode of Nomadic Business Insights. This episode is gonna be about a quite exciting topic. It's kind of an announcement to say so. And the announcement is, well, let's wait a bit and get started with the episode.
You are listening to LD Podcast. Would you like to publish with us? Tell us your story at www.ld.studio/podcasts. Edited and published by LD Studio.
Cheers, guys. It is Sunday afternoon or evening, and I'm currently sitting on our outside patio here in our house in Ayampe. The sun just dropped down below us, and it's a beautiful vibe. It's around 30 degrees. It's just been raining a little bit, drizzling. And I've been spending the whole day together with Ann Sylvia and Sakira surfing. The surf has been good, but to be honest, it is fading a little bit. The quality of the waves, for those of you who know something about surfing, is decreasing. They're not as clean anymore. The ocean is more choppy. So we are considering our options. We were initially planning to stay all the way till June 2024. We now have end of April. But it could be that we're moving place more soon. It could be that we're going somewhere else in the world. But that's a topic for another episode. I'm enjoying a little glass of sangria here. And yeah, as I told you, I have some exciting news. Some of you who follow us the closest might already know this. But Ann Sylvia and me have just bought our third property. We have bought a house in the north of North Norway, a place called Lofoten. Those of you who are into mountains or surfing probably have heard about Lofoten before. It is a kind of famous place among people who seek remote destinations. It's, I can't expel the word right, archipelago, like a long half island stretching far out from the Norwegian coastland. And we have bought a house and a property on pretty much the very, very, very end of that half island. The place is called Moskenes, Sørvågen. And there is a couple of reasons why we bought that property. First of all, it was extremely cheap. And for those of you who are interested in investing in properties, you should definitely check out North Norway at this current state, because there is a lot of property being sold. People are not fancying the most remote places as it is in all parts of the world, which again opens for a great opportunity for people who work remote, people who are not depending on living close to their workplace, like us, because you can invest in a lot of property really cheap that has a lot of potential. And that was pretty much the case for us, because we are moving for real into house flipping. And those of you who are unfamiliar with the term house flipping, it means it's a term used by people that are frequently investing into new properties, moving in there themselves, renovating it, refurnishing it, upgrading it, and then selling it again for profit. And we have done a bit of flipping before. Mostly we've just been interested in investing in properties. We have two bigger apartments in Norway already, which we rent out. But we always told ourselves that the next property we want to invest in is not going to be a rental unit. It's going to be a flipping project. And that for a couple of reasons. But for those reasons, I'll actually bring in Ann Sylvia into the podcast, my dear wife. This is the first time that she's gonna be coming into this podcast. So let's see how that goes, and hope you guys enjoy it. I'm just gonna go and get her.
Hello.
All right, guys, we have Ann Sylvia with us here. It's a pleasure to have you in this podcast, and you're not gonna get a lot of stage time here, but once in a while you'll have your little say.
Thank you for having me.
Well, most of you maybe know Ann Sylvia, or you've seen pictures of her. you're doing some of your own podcasts, you're publishing a lot of own content, but that's not the topic here today. We're doing an episode on our recent purchase in North Norway, the house. I just announced that we have bought a new property in North Norway,
Okay.
and I was just telling that we are intending to do our first flipping project because we've kind of like been doing similar things before, but not like big scale going into flipping properties.
Yeah.
What is your take on it, and why do you think at this stage in your life you're so eager to start house flipping?
Well, there's many reasons for why I want to start house flipping now, and I think the biggest one is that we have for the last 10 years had computer jobs. Georg is just spraying with mosquito spray here. We've the last 10 years had computer jobs, and I just feel a bit tired of the meetings, sitting on a computer, digital stuff, and also I feel it a lot on the eyes, and I really wanted to do something physical, have a physical job, and I grew up with a lot of house flipping basically. So I thought that would be something that would fit our lifestyle really well, and I thought it would be fun.
So your main motivation really here is coming out of the computer work,
Yeah.
which is a bit like contradicting because all this podcast is about is being remote and digital. But I think it's good. It's good to have a lot of different mindsets, and it's also nice for the people listening in here to see that you are getting tired. Like and I don't think you're getting tired in the sense of that you want to go back to an office or have colleagues in that sense, but you're actually saying you're sick of screen time.
It's not that I'm tired, but the life is long. I need variation, and this is just a gap year in the work life, you know.
Why do you think it's house flipping and not like taking a physical job or carpenter job or?
Because I want the creative freedom to do the project the way we want to do it. I want to take the time which is needed to do it in a slow way. I don't want to work more. The reason for doing the house flipping is not to work more. It's just to work with something else, like my hands instead of the mind. Well, you use both anyway, but you get what I mean? And
So what you're saying is you are kind of bitten by or you have been long ago converted into a lifetime business owner, a lifetime entrepreneur. You couldn't go back really to an employment in that way.
No, I think I could, but for a short period.
But so house flipping remains you all the benefits and opportunities of being your own boss and managing all your own time.
Yeah.
But really at the same time making money.
Yeah.
That's really cool. We'll touch back a bit on the economic side of house flipping later on in this episode. But I have two more questions for Ann Sylvia. And number one is, what are you personally most looking forward to during the time in North Norway?
I'm personally looking forward to designing the space and starting the demolition and then doing the finishing touches.
The finishing touches.
Because then you're close to the end.
And how about community? How about like the place? I mean, we've been doing quite a bit of research. Probably I have been doing a bit more research than you, but you're moving into a whole new bubble. And what does it mean for you as a, let's say, like ever being nomad, someone that always has to move a bit around to feel active, feel energized? How do you look at what are your expectations for that new home?
I'm really excited about being so close to accessible nature, doing hikes from basically your backyard and being close to the ocean. The ocean means quite a lot to me. So being very close to it is something I'm personally looking a lot forward to. I don't have that high expectations for the community because I don't like to be disappointed, but I think it's going to be nice. I hope so, but I prefer not to think about it too much because Ayampe, where we're at currently, has really set the standard and it's just unreachable for most parts of the world.
I'll soon have to push you out, but one last thing here. I got a question from one of our listeners. I posted a story some weeks ago announcing that we have bought a house in North Norway, and one of the questions that I received was, aren't you guys scared of the dark time, like the winter time when there is no light? Because in North Norway it's about above the polar circle, so actually there is a couple of months of the year where the sun is not rising.
I am 120% scared for this time, but being your own boss and taking it in our own tempo also means we can just fly to Spain where we have our van, so I'm not really worried.
So you have an escape route ready.
Yes, all the time. All options are open, you know?
All right. Thanks for coming in for a couple of minutes here. It was been really cool, and I think you'll get some more guest speaking time in the close future.
Leave lots of comments that you liked me. Okay, bye guys.
Well, let's get back to some of the reasons why we bought the house in North Norway. And Sylvia touched some of them, but I think it's also a very lucrative place in terms of investing time into something that can turn out a tourist place. Because North Norway is turning more and more famous among remote workers, remote travelers, people who want to explore a bit different places in the world. One of our ideas is actually testing the house we bought a bit into a hostel direction. We always fancied together building up a community space, something where there can be a lot of creative activity such as yoga, retreats, mindset development, combined with extreme sport. And in Lofoten, you really have all of those opportunities. So I've already done some meetings with people in the local community, because one of the things that I'm most aware of and most careful about is we don't want to come in there breaking necks. We don't want to come in there offending the local investors who have been there a long while. So, and that is something as a digital investor, a digital worker, you have to be careful about, because we can jump bubbles as much as we want. We can jump from here to there, doesn't really affect us. But the trace we leave is always important to consider. And I want to come in with a positive impact. I want to come in with excitement. And so I've been investing quite a bit of time scouting around through the local networks, contacting the government, who are investor types, who are the doers, and slowly kind of drawing out a map for ourselves and getting more and more in contact with these people. So that we can ensure like a fluid transition when we come into this environment. And you might sit there thinking, whoa, this guy is a geek. And truly we are, because I think most people, when they move a new place, they're excited about school facilities, hiking facilities, and that's it, excited about meeting their neighbors. But that's how we are. We are entrepreneurs and investors by lifestyle, and that's what interests us. It's not about so much making money. Obviously, there is always an underlying instinct of making a living, but I don't think that's an issue or that's a problem. It's more about the excitement to always have the opportunity to try something new. And, well, I think we'll do another episode in the future about the house particularly and what our plans are. It's a very cool old Norwegian wooden house, which gotta be done a lot of work to, but it also has a lot of potential. It's an easy house to construct, and we have done quite a bit of construction work before, but we are getting more intrigued in building up a bigger company in house flipping. So yeah, eventually I just want to touch that economic topic of house flipping. There's literally two ways you can do it. One, keeping it small and personal, always just buying your next house, flipping it, selling it, making good profits. Let's say, for example, in our case, we bought that house for around 45,000 euros, which I think is a real bargain, because houses in Norway from that size generally start at a 300 to 400,000. So we bought it at 45,000 euros. Let's say that we can make it into a really beautiful property, really modern property, by spending less than 50,000 euros, and obviously our own work time, which is valuable as well. And we sell that house for 400,000 euros or more. Then during that year or 2 years, we potentially made 300,000 euros. And that's quite a lot of money. You would have to have a very well-paid job to make similar amounts of money. And at the same time, we can maintain our digital works. We can maintain our companies because we can literally choose the speed ourselves. As Ann Sylvia was mentioning, she's looking forward to doing it slow. So we're not going in there rushing anything. We don't have any timelines or stress because we're living there for free. We already paid the house in cash, so there is nothing more to pay off. There is no mortgage or anything that's pushing us. And we can do that project in 1 year. We can do it in 3 years. We can do it in 5 years. It doesn't really matter. But we can potentially gain a lot of money. So that's the whole industry of house flipping. On the other side, if we fall in love with the place and don't end up selling it, we can, as I touched topic, we are considering maybe making it into a hostel or retreat center. So that's always an option, which is also pretty profitable when you own the place. So that's the personal way of doing house flipping, but we're actually considering turning it into something more professional and commercial. And that's the industrial side of house flipping. And it's not really called house flipping anymore. It's called upgrading of property or property investment. And that's when you have a company that has that amount of liquidity flow that it just can buy properties, and maintain the costs of workers to upgrade them, build them, and then sell them again. We're obviously not in the cash position yet where we can do that with a lot of properties, but our intention is to do it with this property in North Norway first and use that whole profit and reinvest it into 1 or 2 more properties, and that time not doing the job ourselves but having workers come in to do it. So it's a slow building company. It's something pretty much everyone who is interested in planning, management, organization, and economics can do on their side. I'll actually do an own episode about different ways of doing property investments because there is a lot of different strategies and cool ways that also enables people with not too much capital to be entering the property market. And I think flipping in generally, especially for people like us that love developing space, love seeing space taking a new shape, and love having a hand on architecture, house flipping is something very intriguing because, as Ann Sylvia touched, it is physical. It is not so much screen time. It's putting down physical value in something that contributes to society, because people all the time gonna need housings, and there is a lot of housings around the world, not just in Norway or Europe, that are degrading. So as a person that has the opportunity to invest in property, I think getting into the flipping market is a major contribution to the world and potentially also to climate change if you do it the right way. I'm not going to give you any recipe right here and now because it is a touchy topic, but there is a lot of things you can do, and there's a lot of information in the internet on building sustainable housings in many quite simple ways. So obviously, if you have that in mind and you're conscious about it, you can contribute a lot by doing it. I think that's it for this episode, guys. As I said, I'll always keep them short and precise. I'm excited to tell you more about our house in North Norway. Last but not least, I just want to drop down here that we are looking for helpers. We are looking for volunteers that are wanting to join us in North Norway. We're not 100% sure from when we will open those positions, but they're already online on ld.studio. On our hiring site, you can send in your application, and we've already received quite a few people who are interested. So I think spots are going to get narrow. It will be an intimate experience. You'll be living in the same house with Ann Sylvia and me. So quite naturally, we are going to invest quite a bit of time in interviewing candidates because we want to get very well along. It's going to be being very close up to our family. It's going to be an opportunity to learn a lot about life, about business, and about building. And we're also looking forward to have some amazing people over as usual. Throughout many years, we've met people from all around the world that have come to our companies on visits or internships, and it's always been an amazing experience. So we're very much looking forward to that. And yeah, with that, remember that after summer, we will release our own Discord network in the Nomadic Business Insight group. It will be paid access only, but in that Discord group will be live at hand, helping all you guys who are entrepreneurs with tips and tricks and feedback on what you're doing and how you can improve what you're doing. And yes, guys, I'll help Ann Sylvia with dinner now. It's time to go to bed. I'll enjoy a little bit more of my sangria here, and hope you guys have an amazing time wherever you are. I'm looking forward to make another episode very soon. And yeah, that's it. Goodbye, guys.
Thank you for listening to LD Podcast. We are continuously looking for the most talented innovators. No matter your background or expertise, shoot us an email at high5@ld.studio with your skills and portfolio.